Why do Nigerians in diaspora always say that Nigeria is a cost country? Today, I want to take out some time to talk about the recent video of Tayo Aina, who in his recent video spoke about a subject, and they call it "Why Everyone is Leaving Nigeria to the UK." In the title of that video, he put a thumbnail there and he called it "Nigeria is Cost." And in that video, he kind of interviewed about 6 people where he asked them questions about why they left Nigeria, and all of them gave all kinds of reasons. But before I proceed into the conversation, I would like to thank people like Very Dark Man, people like the late Baba Fela Anikulapo Kuti, people like Seun Kuti, Femi Kuti, and the rest. In fact, I would like to thank those Nigerians who decide to keep fighting for the country regardless of everything that we are going through, still believing that this nation can be better. But honestly, I have always marveled at the reason why most of the Nigerians in diaspora who have finally found a way to survive in a better country, whenever they look back at Nigeria, most of them have this critical mindset to think that Nigeria is a cost country. And in fact, you can hear it in the way they narrate or how they discuss with people when they try to express things about Nigeria, most especially to Nigerians. But funny enough, when the glory of Nigeria begin to show up, like our music artists, like our comedians, Bovi, Basket Mouth, and the rest, when these people begin to do exploit, even in our movie industry, then you begin to realize that the same Nigerians who are critical of the country, of what is not working and the infrastructures that are not working, then they want to be proud to be called Nigeria. I once had an encounter with someone who I listened to his podcast also, and he was always saying that in Nigeria, the country is more or less like an animal kingdom. And whenever I hear people in the UK or people in diaspora generally who says Nigeria is like an animal kingdom, I like reminding them most times that you came from the kingdom of an animal and you find yourself in a Western society. What does that make you? Absolutely an animal. Well, out of the things they discussed in part of the people Tayo Aina interviewed in the video, one of the things is a lot of them gave critical reasons why they left Nigeria because of the hardship. One of his guests also spoke about the things that happened in Borno, Kano during the time of Boko Haram. Another person said that his endpoint was what happened during the time of the EndSARS. A lady specifically talked about the aspect of she losing a child in Nigeria. And in the Western culture, which is in the UK there, they attend to them and then she has a baby who is safe and sound. Well, I think most of the excuses and the reasons some of them gave are very valid and should be respected. And besides, some of them still say if Nigeria is better, they will come back to Nigeria. But there are few observations that I make or that I see, and I really want to touch on those things. Part of the things when Tayo Aina asked them about what is going on and why did they leave Nigeria, everybody gave their reasons. But one of the problems they started talking about when he started asking them about the challenges in the UK, some of them talk about discrimination. And they talk about discrimination in a silent way, which they might incite to be maybe racism. And some of them said it is very silent and very painful. I can recall, to paraphrase one person who actually said that. A particular gentleman spoke about the idea of he gets one time when himself they waka, he did drive, and somebody drove a little bit rough. And then he came down from the car to address the person. And the person began to act like a monkey to him. And then he reported the situation to the police over there. And the police did not do anything regardless of the fact that he has reported. And then I'm like, wow. Do Nigerians leave Nigeria and they go to other country and they become a B? When I say B, most of you would know what you would call them. When has it become a fact in Nigeria that anyone insults you and then you go and report to the police? Well, according to his statement, they said the police did not give attention to him and they kept asking him the same question over and over again. And then I'm like, you went to another man's country, what are you expecting? Do you want to sue? Do you want him to get arrested? All because he calls you a monkey? whereby a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora will call Nigerians animal kingdom. It is ironic and funny. One of them, I think, spoke about the challenges that housing is very expensive in the UK, and the society is functioning fine, but everybody is working just to make sure that the taxes, everything go back to the system and to the society. And so that simply means that they are not making much money. I heard one young girl who said, oh, she was able to make money and maybe she has a house. And then the funny thing is the one who talked about, some of them spoke about the issue of the LGBTQ. So that means when they find themselves in a different country now, one of their challenge is that they cannot restrict their children. That means you are not allowed not to expose your children to what is happening in the society in the UK. And that was also very funny. And I'm like, oh, that's children have to have their right, and the right to get polluted by the society, by the institution in the society, indoctrinating them on the way of life. Well, we would ask ourselves a question. What bigger problem in Nigeria compared to what they have over there? Now, trust me, I understand that many things are not working here in Nigeria, and I agree with most of them, and in fact, I respect the idea of them leaving to find a greener pasture. But there was something that I actually observed, and I don't know if Nigerians mostly agree with me, the ones who are here, the ones who believe in working in Nigeria. When I use the word working in Nigeria, what I mean is those who are paying attention to fight and make sure things happen within this country. I really observed that most of the people who travel to diaspora and they don't come back, most of them are doing well. Some of them are doing well, not most. Some of them are doing well over there, but in a sense, they are not serious billionaires or millionaires, in my observation. Because when you look at true Nigerians who are very rich, people like Obi Kubana and co, many of them that we can talk about in Nigeria, even including Dangote and the rest of it. These people are more invested in Nigeria because they know how to make things work within their country. Now, there can be an argument that some of them would take their children out of the country to go and stay over there. But I think the idea of Nigeria is for us to be able to make sure we make something out of this country, and for us to have the liberty to travel to every other country, to show our skills, our gifts to the world, and come back to our home. That is the definition of having a home. Not just running away fully and not even thinking of considering coming back to the country, which some of them do have. Some of them would argue if Nigeria gets better, they would be willing to come back to Nigeria. But one thing that I've always observed is these ones are not mostly the people that have actually figured out the idea of wealth and the rest of it. But here is the question that that pops up in my mind. If every Nigeria have the opportunity to jackpot and every single Nigeria decide to run away from the country, what would the country be? Will it still be our own if other people would not come in and invade the whole country and they are going to have it to themselves? Whenever we promote the idea of jackpot, do we consider that one day most of these nations that we go, just like some people who have been in the US, now we have Donald Trump as the president of the country and he's talking about borders and illegal immigration and all of that, most people will find themselves coming back home. And definitely, no matter how we put it, it's going to affect certain people who probably might have even done things legally, who just have a little bit of challenge. Now, that can be argued, but trust me, it will happen. And also for those who find themselves in the UK, who find themselves in Canada and the rest of it, a lot of them still have the same complaint and the rest of it. But here's the moral of the whole lesson. When I see a lot of people who run out of the country, Nigeria, I see that a lot of them have a lot of opinion about the country, the same country they are running away from. And I ask myself a question. If you want to make a change within the country, don't you consider that you need to be available to make it work? Now, trust me, I understand for those who are running for asylum and the rest of it. And perhaps if you go there for education and you'll be coming back to your country, that actually makes sense. The greener pasture that is being built in the Western culture, certain people built it and they have countless of years of people who wage war, people who fought to make sure the system works. Look at the years at which Nigeria used in having independence, compare it to the years of these countries. And I'm not using that as just an excuse. I know we are living in a technology age. But the reality is this, if all of them had run away, perhaps person like Baba Fela, if Baba Fela was not around to come back from the UK and come back to his country and make things work. Are we going to have people like Very Dark Man, Seun Kuti fighting also in his own way, people like Aisha Yusuf, people like Omoyele Sowore? Who would be here fighting for us? Who would be the people that would have been inspired? You see, now people will never see beautiful place. Sometimes these are the people who just go there and then they say things negative about the country. Though I understand that the people that Tayo Aina actually interviewed, most of them did not say too much negative things about Nigeria, but they have something to say. But what I understand is this: the moral of the whole lesson is, for those of us who have decided to fight for the country, which I have had countless of opportunities to have moved out of this country, and I didn't take the opportunity, and I still have it, it's still open. I don't take it simply because I believe in making this country work. Yes, are there times where my children would have to move out of the country to go learn other skills? Perhaps, yes, that's going to happen. But I'm not thinking of selling all my property in Nigeria or selling all the things that I've struggled for in Nigeria just to go to a different man's country, because nothing is certain in that place. Even in Nigeria, it is not. But I'm more relaxed in my mother's land, in my father's land, than in every other land, regardless of whatever is going on. Perhaps let's say that the situation of what happened within the Russia and the Ukraine comes and repeats itself somewhere in Nigeria. I will be willing to fight for my country, regardless of the fact that I know things are not working fine. And I think the same thing is what VDM is doing. And this is the reason why people rally around him. But here's my advice. For those of us who have decided to stay and fight for the country, to see that everything works or something change, let us be more careful and cautious on how we decide to fight our battles. Let us be more constructive so that situations of the things that happened in the EndSARS protest would never repeat itself. Now we live in the technology age, and I really appreciate someone like VDM who is taking advantage of the social media space to talk about the things that we witness. If they did not allow us to protest on the street, they cannot stop us from protesting on social media. Look at the exposing of the things that Very Dark Man did when he was being arrested by the police. And then with that, we saw the children who were being crucified or detained as terrorists. And through social media, those children got freedom. There is a possibility for us to make this country work. We are optimistic. For those of us who decide to speak about the things about Nigeria, we are optimistic that something is possible. Don't be in a rush, Nigerians, to jackpot out of the country, because there's also a price to pay, an unknown price. That's all I have for you. If you enjoy whatever I've said, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like and share. I appreciate Tayo Aina for his own work. I know he's going around the country to figure out information and to bring those things to our notice and to entertain us. But that's a good one. And I'm proud that he loves carrying Nigeria on his back. Subscribe, like and share. See you in the next one. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.
When you are revolutionary and you talk the truth, people will come and slap you down. Then you talk the truth again, they'll lock you in jail. They never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa. When you are revolutionary and you talk the truth, people will come and slap you down. Then you talk the truth again, they'll lock you in jail. They never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa.